Jansen Harris here with the final play on the Just Good Network. Let's talk about Artur Beterbiev. You look at a guy 16 and 0, 16 KOs. Honestly, people are saying a lot of things about the fight. We know he dominated. We know he was quick. He was smart with his punches, picking and choosing. His uppercuts were deadly in the 10th round knockout. But Adam Dinas, he didn't fight bad. I thought he had his moments in the fight where he fought back. He landed some significant punches. I think Dinas didn't get enough credit. We know the broadcasting team was all over Artur Beterbiev. Beterbiev. They thought that he was so dominant, and they were kind of hinting towards maybe a fight with Canelo Alvarez, even though it's more likely going to be Joe Smith Jr. I think it was a pretty good fight, but let's go back to the first round. This is what made people think this fight was just going to end. You look at Artur Beterbiev and what he was able to do in that first round, just landing a bunch of punches and combinations, really being aggressive, testing the heart of Dinas, which I have to give him credit, lasting 10 rounds, having that heart in the chin and the endurance, because to me in the middle rounds he looked tired, and then it's like he turned a little bit of a switch on. So I thought he would get knocked down in the 5th round, which didn't happen. He got off the ropes, he fought hard, he won a couple rounds here or there. He was outclassed. He was against a fighter who was more skilled, even at 36 years old. Give Artur credit. You got a guy who is a champion. You got a guy who is dominated at light heavyweight. He is the best light heavyweight in the world. And yes, when Canelo moved up, he could have fought him, but he didn't want any part of that. So speaking of Canelo Alvarez and the potential bout with Artur Beterbiev, I don't think that fight is going to happen because we know Canelo Alvarez, to me, even though they say they called Beterbiev, they didn't. They said after the fight, his manager said that it wasn't true. They didn't give them a call, but if they do get on a phone call, then they don't mind making the fight happen. I think if you look at a fight like that, that's a dangerous fight for Canelo Alvarez, which is why some people criticize him and say, look, you could have fought Beterbiev, but you didn't want to. You could have fought other guys when you moved up, but you fought Kovalev, which Kovalev obviously was on the downside of his career ever since the Andre Ward fight. But I think that would be a great matchup. I do. Because when I look at Beterbiev, I look at a guy who doubles up on his punches well. I look at a guy who's hungry. I look at a guy who doesn't look like he's slowing down. He needs a competitive fight. He needs a competitive fight, a top fight. So I don't think it'll happen against Canelo Alvarez anytime soon. Maybe 2022, maybe 2023. But a fight against Joe Smith Jr., if he wins his bout, that's more likely. We're more likely to see that fight. They're both on top rank. And there's a lot of fighters like this out here right now. At 175, at 160, at 168, who are talking about Canelo, because everybody wants to fight Canelo. That's the big money fight. A lot of those dreams aren't going to come true. Canelo is handpicking his opponents, whether you like it or not. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. I think the Billy Joe Saunders fight is going to be a pretty good fight. I want to see what Billy Joe Saunders is made of. He does a lot of chirping, does a lot of talking, but he's skilled. So we'll see how that goes. But congratulations to Artur Beterbiev. Got a guy who's 16 and 0, 16 KOs, and looks unstoppable, at least in that fight. I'm Jansen Harris with the final play on the Just Good Network.